This video is going to be about politics, interest groups, and political action committees. Now, interest group is going to be an organization of people who unite to promote their ideas. So essentially, it's just a group of people who feel a certain way about an issue, and they're going to try to get to legislators and political parties to try to get their ideas promoted and get their issues looked after once a politician or a political party gains power in office. Now, interest groups are important because their primary goal is to influence public policy and legislation. So their basic goal is trying to influence the laws that are passed in Congress. That's why they talk to and have relationships with political parties. Now, a political action committee is a form of an interest group. And what political action committees do is that they deal with money. And basically, a political action committee is a form of an interest group who gives money to a political party or a candidate to help support that candidate. And basically what they're looking for in return after giving this money to that candidate or that political party is that they're looking for their issues to be brought up in Congress so legislation can be passed to help out this interest group and this political action committee. Another form of interest group is going to be called a lobbyist. Now, interest groups use lobbyists to help them influence government officials, especially at the national and state levels. And most of the time, these people are going to meet legislators, political parties, and important officials in the lobbies of buildings and hotels, and especially in Congress. Now, a lobbyist is a representative of an interest group who contacts the lawmakers and other government officials directly. The role of a lobbyist is to know who to contact, suggest solutions to the problems and issues that legislators and congressmen and political parties are facing, and to help them come up with solutions to meet these issues. Now, lobbyists assist lawmakers and help provide information to help with bills and potential laws. Interest groups, political action committees, and lobbyists seem pretty powerful since they're helping out legislators and congressmen and political parties. Since they're giving them suggestions about what they should do as far as certain laws are concerned, it seems like they wield a lot of power and a lot of influence. Interest groups, political action committees, and lobbyists, they all have pros and cons. Some people feel that interest groups have too much say in the government and they have too much influence. Some people believe that with all the money that's floating around and given to campaigns, it's also given interest groups and political action committees too much influence. Proponents of interest groups, political action committees, and interest groups say that without these groups of people, Congress won't know what issues are important to the citizens. Because so much money is floating around and there's so much influence being spread, there has been legislation to help limit the effects in which money has on campaigns and their contributions. You have the Federal Election Campaign Act, which limits the amount of money that can be donated. You also have the Federal Election Commission, which limits how much money can be donated to candidates and their political parties as well. Over the course of time, there's been a cry or a rally for campaign finance reform. And in campaign finance reform, they're still trying to limit the amount of money that is being donated and given to political parties and candidates. Now, Congress say they wish to reform the campaign laws and to limit the amount of money that's going to be spread out. But the interesting thing is, most of the money that is being given or donated to these political parties and to candidates go to incumbent politicians. And an incumbent politician means somebody that's already been in office. So they are not really going to want to reform the campaign finances because they're the ones that are benefiting from them the most. They're getting most of the money, and it's free money, so they don't want to stop that money from flowing in. So this is going to wrap up the unit on political parties, and it basically just summarizes how they get their money to run their campaigns and the role that money, political action committees, and interest groups play with political parties.